yourself awake again. Stay right here with me.
First version of the song was first made on like 2016.
Original song came out pretty fast. I remember it was like 1 day or 2 days maximum.
When I first heard the demo, I thought it was a funny song because there was this guitar melody that was similar to a Finnish old song called Liehuva liekinvarsi.
Tuolla metsässä makaa kuollut mies, näin huutaen poika juoksi kylään.
And that kind of immediately got my attention on that song.
At that time it was called Beat Drum. And I was super excited about the song. I thought it was like unique. It had like a very weird groove in the verses.
I like immediately got some ideas for the vocals and especially the boom boom, the below part. And I wrote the first lyrics to that song on the same evening, and that was like the fastest I've ever done lyrics. But yeah, then we played the first version like a year in our shows. Then we got the chance to work with this Finnish producer Joonas Parkkonen, and the connection was made by our manager Jani.
It was actually our first co-write session when we worked with Joonas.
And there were some parts that Joonas really liked, but others not so much. So the song changed quite a bit.
And the parts that he liked was like obviously the below thing on that, and the line "Feel yourself awake again," and kind of like the theme between like heavy, hard-hitting heavy metal rock thing and like very dance music chorus was already there in the original version. But actually the second version became so different that we used to play both versions on our shows and still do. When I first wrote the lyrics, I was really inspired in the first demo of the song where there was like this ding, like clock ticking thing. Kind of like inspired me to think about like time and somehow like addictions and how they, relate, all the addictions, how much, they took time away from you. When we made the new version of the song, Joonas wanted me to do like, he was really strict on the lyrics that he didn't want anything like bad or like mediocre on the song. So I made like 6 to 8 different versions especially of the verses, like to get the flow right and to get the like everything perfect. And I think it came out really well because of that. Basically it's about like the time that where any kind of addiction takes away from your life. On the verses, there's like this craving thing going on, and wanting to feed the addiction and all the downsides of that. And in the like chorus, it's this bliss thing, like feeling only good feelings and not caring about anything. And in the bridge part or the C part of the song, there's like just like this really dark madness, delirium kind of thing going on.
When we started to create a new riff for the new version, we dropped the key about half step down, so it was easier to play with the open strings. In the first version, the main riff in a chorus was more like in major scale. Joonas suggested to play that the main riff a bit meaner kind of way.
We changed a lot of stuff, but in the end it came out way better. Like the new version is even better. We recorded the lead vocals at Auran Panimo here in Turku, and the drums and guitars and bass were recorded at Sonic Pump Studios in Helsinki.
Yeah, we tried out many of Joonas's own amps, like Soldano and some XFX and some Marshall GCM something. We tried those out and we recorded. I think we recorded most of the parts with Soldano, But in the end, I think we used most of the DI guitars, which I recorded at home, because Jacob wanted to reamp the guitars.
And Joonas really felt that the song like it still needed like that little something, and he brought this huge, expensive. I think it was Proteus, the brand. I'm not sure. It was like this big, expensive analog synthesizer, and he just started to mess around with it, like adding layers to another, and then he just put it on top of the song, and it was insane.
After we recorded the song, then the song was mixed by Jacob Hansen in Denmark, and I think finally at that point, when I heard his mix, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna work like really hard. When the mix was so good that even though there was so much contrast between the verses and the choruses, the mix really tied the song together, man. After the song was like done and we knew that it's gonna be released, we wanted to, make the best out of it and make a music video, or like a lyric video at least, for that song. So we had this idea, because the song was so like two different sides of us, like the really mean and the really, really like danceable pop side, that we wanted to like the same feeling to the music video also. So we had this idea that the verses would be in black and white, like this is really dark stuff, and in the choruses there would be like the colors come on, and doing only happy things, and enjoying the time of your life.
When we started to think about how to do the music video, and we wanted to do as much by ourselves as we can, so we decided that we will make the set in our rehearsal space. So we made a corner out of plywood in the corner of our rehearsal space, and painted everything white so it would look cool and clean in the happy parts of the music video. And then the same plywood wall was used to for Maron to write the lyrics on there.
And we wanted to someone else to act in it than any of us, so we asked my friend Maron, who has done lots of acting, and he also is a very gifted musician, so he really like got the gist of it. Yeah, it was pretty cool that he hadn't heard the song before, and on the same evening he could do all the lip syncs like perfectly, and of course all the facial expressions and that kind of stuff. Like he really nailed that one.
He really got the things we asked him to do on the camera like to another level, and really like catching the crazy on the verses and being like this really happy guy in the choruses. So,
and Maron agreed to do all even the stupid ideas that we had. Like on one part of the video, he like drinks sour milk like so much that it pours all over his face and his shirt and stuff, for example, and it looked very cool. Yeah, and one of the stupid things was also like in one part of the video, there comes like foam out of Maron's mouth, and with that with samarin, which is this one kind of like heartburn medicine, and when you take the medicine, a little bit of water, it starts to foam and form bubbles, and that kind of we like made the effect that he had like some sort of like disease like rabies or something like that.
And we asked Maron if he could write the lyrics on paper just in case we don't find the right font for the lyric video, and it turned out Maron's font was perfect for the video. So I'm glad we did that.
yourself awake again.